One of the best chess players in history is Magnus Carlsen. Since 2013, he has held the title of World Chess Champion and has constantly ranked as the top player in the world. Deep strategic knowledge, great endgame skills, and the capacity to outperform opponents in various scenarios define his playing style. The FIDE Elo rating, used to gauge a player's power, has frequently reached above 2,800 for Carlsen, a milestone that only a select few players have attained. The highest rating was 2,882, his top rating in May 2014. His supremacy in chess has been spectacular, and he has won several significant tournaments. And in the recent event of the FIDE World Cup, Carlsen reigned supreme yet again. That's right. He ended up defeating everyone who came his way to win the title. He was so determined to win finally. The World Cup was the only title missing from his collection. Now that he finally has it, he can relax even though he won't be doing that. Magnus Carlsen, a former world champion, has won his first World Cup title, adding to his impressive list of victories and marking an important milestone in his storied chess career. The top 3 finishers have all earned spots in the 2024 Candidates competition, which will be held in Canada in April of that year. Nejat Abasov, who placed 4th, will take Carlsen's position if he formally withdraws from the competition. Carlsen has hinted in interviews that he might not be interested in competing. After recovering from food poisoning, Carlsen overcame the 18-year-old Indian prodigy R. Pragnanandha in the tiebreaks, following a quiet draw in the second game of the finals. It just took 2 tiebreaker games and an hour and a half. The first fast tiebreaker, which Carlsen won with the black pieces, was crucial. In the Giuoco Piano, the 2 sides were evenly matched. Pragg planned an assault on the black monarch but made a mistake. Even so, the situation was balanced. Pragg ran out of time and made the incorrect move 42-6 in an open and tense endgame where both players had to make precise calculations. While Carlsen's response was not the best, Pragg continued to make mistakes in the following 2 moves, and by the time he made a move 44, White was in a hopeless situation. Pragg resigned on turn 47. With Carlsen playing as White, forcing exchanges in a better position, Game 2 was much quieter. A draw was reached as early as move 22, giving the Norwegian first place. Even Carlsen posted a GIF from the popular UK TV program, The Inbetweeners, with the character declaring, "Completed it," to recognize his success on social media. The 2 players have had a difficult few weeks because they have faced much competition to reach the final. Millions of viewers tuned in to watch the sport's 2 biggest names face off in an exciting final after 2 draws. At one point, 115,000 people were watching the live broadcast of the opening game of the final, while more than 150,000 watched the tiebreaker. Carlsen could hold on for the draw he needed to win his first World Cup and add it to his collection of chess titles. The World Cup served as Pragg's stepping stone to the elite level of the sport. Pragg, who earlier in his career became the youngest international chess master in history at the age of 10 years, 10 months, and 19 days, defeated 2 of the top 3 players in the world to reach the final and earn a spot in the 2024 Candidates tournament, which selects the challenger to the World Chess Championship. The only significant competition Magnus Carlsen has never won was the World Cup. He got closest in 2021 when he placed 3rd. The top-rated player in the world has now furthered his case that he is the game of chess's ultimate force majeure. Fabiano Caruana's win in the 3rd-place match concluded the competition. Caruana advanced to the tiebreaks on day 2 after overcoming a loss in game 1 of the regular match to make a comeback. The Azeri star Nejat Abasov, who astounded everyone with his outstanding performance in his home city of Baku, broke in the rapid, dropping both tiebreak games. First, Caruana won the Trompowsky attack against Abasov using the black pieces. Early on in the game, Caruana had the upper hand. He then gradually applied more pressure until, by move 22, Black was almost sure to win. White's king eventually found himself in a mating net where he could only slightly postpone the inevitable. With the added advantage of white pieces, Caruana persevered in the second game, feeling re-energized after 2 straight triumphs. Abasov chose the Sicilian, but Caruana once more played passionately and decisively, immediately establishing a superior position. By move 15, White had the upper hand. It was a fantastic result for Caruana, who appeared to be losing steam after losing to Abasov in the opening game and getting eliminated by Prague in the semifinals. Overall, this was a beautiful and brief day for Caruana and Carlsen, the initial tournament favorites. But this tournament was a summary of who will continue to be at the top of their chess game in the coming time. Carlsen will be staying in the top spot sometime soon, and as for Prague, he is close behind. There's a reason Prague became a grandmaster at only 10 years of age. His drive and struggle to become the #1 chess player will pay off one day. That is, if Carlsen loses to him someday in such an event. As for another big name, Hikaru Nakamura was one of the players Prague defeated on his way to the finals. Although Hikaru would see it as a big defeat, there is no shame in losing to one of the best in the game right now. Furthermore, Prague has a very high ceiling in chess, and this tournament only strengthened that fact. Are there other players who might end up being added to the list of the top 3 players of Carlsen, Caruana, and Nakamura? Let us know in the comments if you know of them. But returning to the greatness of Magnus Carlsen, this tournament is something he had longed for. For the longest time, the World Cup win that he was after seemed to always get out of his hand. But thankfully, now that isn't the case. It is why we don't mind him going to his social media accounts and writing about it. It is the least he deserves to do until the next tournament. As mentioned earlier, he might not be participating in it, but even if he does, there are no doubts that he will go pretty deep in that tournament too. Is there going to be any player who will end Carlsen's domination anytime soon? We doubt it, considering Carlsen is at the peak of his powers, but several names are just on his tail to get that #1 spot.